Hey guys, great to see ya. Great to see ya. Hey, Wednesday night. Ah, yeah, I love Wednesday night. Yeah. Hey, we only got 3 people that said anything over in the chat so far. That'll change. That'll change. Old Country Farming Home and Gardeners Guild. Alexander, great to see you, Alexander. Will the Rucker, there's my old reliable Will. It's great to see you, Will. And Kimberly Ferris. Oh, hi, sweetie. There's Nimmy Pun. Hey, Nimmy, good to see ya. Good to see ya. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a lot to fill you in on this from this last week, and a lot of decisions that were made the last couple of days, and things going on. We'll wait till a few more folks are hanging out in the house, and we'll catch you all up on that stuff. Hey, Dave Crafts, great to see you. Yeah, Nimmy, long time no see. Yeah, I think about you, Nimmy. I I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Yeah. I got someone down in the basement, and we get a pretty good view. Crazy Ann shows up. She's gonna love it because that's what she really loves. I got running water in the basement, and he's in the middle of doing his job, and we'll chat at him while he's doing his job. There he is. Check it out.
How's it going?
Good, good. Yeah, you said you're going to put the camera on the dash. I didn't know you were going to give us the road view. That's cool. I like that. Yep, I like that. I tell you, if I wasn't camping, I'd love to be traveling. Yeah, I got. Oh God, that's another thing I found out, that I got some truck work to do. Hey, Beastly Ironworks, great to see you there, Dave. It's been a few minutes. Yeah, it's great to see you. Hey, we got Phil down here in the basement. I'm pulling Phil up too. There, there. Now we got our Phil for the night. Yeah.
All right. See you later.
See ya. Bye, everybody. We had our Phil for the night. So, how's Phil doing?
Oh, Phil's depressed.
Depressed?
Just the whole word thing, But we'll get through it.
Yeah. So, bummer.
Yeah.
I watched your live, well, most of your live the other night. You eating them damn peppers. Oh, holy shit. That bugger you stuffed with a pepper, and then you stuck some more peppers in it. Then you sat it on top of a pepper, and then you can only stretch stupid just so far.
No, I've stretched it a long ways. I'll probably stretch it even further. So,
well, that's what that's what I expect.
I got a new T-shirt came in the mail today.
Did you? Oh yeah. The
first one of its kind.
Yeah. That's so. I saw the design, but you were talking about having to get one. And there it is. There it is. That's pretty good. Hey, Tim, good to see you.
It's funny because Teespring sent it in a box. Teespring normally just sends something in a plastic bag. Cheapest route. It actually came in a decent sized box. I'm thinking, what the hell? Well, it says, here is your sample. And then, of course, when you open the lid, it tells you different things you can do with it and things like that. So they're, I don't know, since they changed their name maybe from Teespring to just Spring.
Spring.
Yeah, maybe there's something going on there. I don't know. But
Yeah, they got me
Tim,
confused. I have a hell of a time getting into mine to try to do anything, and I'll get it figured out. Hey, me Dibble, good to see ya. Yeah, I was saying to Running Water, I got truck repairs now I gotta do, damn it.
oh,
So I'm driving. I put a lot of miles on my truck last week just out exploring and heading back into camp the other night, and I turned the music off and had the window down, and I could hear this every time I accelerate and put any kind of pressure against the rear end, right? And I've been trying to figure out what in the heck's causing that howling. Well, the next day I took it out and drove it. It wasn't doing it. Got out on the highway, got it up to 60 miles an hour. I cruised for about 20 minutes or so. Come up to this place I was pulling into. As soon as I slowed down, there it is. Every time I try to accelerate. And I thought, oh my God, I got the rear end going on it, like a bearing shot or something in the rear end. And I get back to camp and it's still doing it. And campers are looking like, what the fuck? Noisy truck. And I hit the brakes when I get to my campsite, and then I hear that chirp, 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 chirp. That's the other brake on the other side chirping because the pads are getting low.
sure.
So I put that truck up on a jack, pulled that driver's side tire off to find out what that howling sound was. Oh yeah, caliper isn't relaxing and letting the inside pad off of that damn rotor.
Oh,
So it's getting hotter on the inside than the outside of the rotor, and that pad has got machine on it from constantly touching the rotor, and that's what's howling.
gotcha.
But it doesn't howl unless I accelerate and pressure gets put against that wheel from the rear end. Then it causes that inside caliper to start vibrating, and it makes that howling sound. Hey, TM, good to see ya. What's with the tree by the wet restroom that needs to come down? Any progress with it? Them buggers cut that damn tree down without telling me. I was so mad. They said they did it because they didn't want me there with my camera. They said, we just had a gut feeling, Sty, you'd show up with your dang GoPro and you give us bad luck, and we dropped that tree right on the crapper. So they said, we took it down without telling you. Oh, that pissed me right off. I wanted to see him crash the crapper with that big old birch tree. Yeah.
You the crapper. You saved you time.
No, well, that'd be one less crapper I'd have to clean. I tell you, Running Water's laughing because he knows where I'm going with this. All right, the other day, my supervisor, Forest Service supervisor, shows up and he goes, Sty, we really need to talk about postseason here. He said, within 2 days of Labor Day, all of our hosts jumped. They're all gone. They all left. We don't have a single host in the Great Divide District. And I go, oh boy, that sounds like your problem. And he said, for the most part, your hosting duties are really done as far as the hosting goes. He goes, how long would you like to stay in camp? I said, well, I don't want to be here if I'm not really going to be a benefit or help to the Forest Service. If I'm just taking up space and using resources, I'd rather go home. I said, but if I can actually help, I'll stick around. He says, boy, you can really help. He said, would you be willing to stay until October 15th? I said, only if you can keep my ass busy. He says, well, I think we can. He says, here's what I got for you. He says, I'm going to give you 6 campgrounds, the 2 you have plus 4 more. I go, say what? He goes, yeah. And I said, I can guess which 4. And he said, and I'll list them off. Then I'll tell you where they're at. One is called Stock Farm Campground. The other one is Black Lake Campground, which is Travis's campground, my buddy Travis. Moose Lake Campground, which is also Travis's campground, but he's done for the season, Travis's. And Day Lake, which has 38 campsites that are open out of 50, plus East Twin, plus Beaver Lake. So I got 6 campsites. I've got 2 day use areas, a trailhead, and a boat landing, all with restrooms at them. Well, it adds up to, if I would remember the numbers correctly, it's 127 campsites, I believe. And no, it's 129 campsites, and it's 26 outdoor toilets that have to be maintained on a regular basis for the next month. So yesterday I took a test run, and I did the 4 campgrounds that are south of me. That's a one-dayer. That's a one-dayer. I hit all of those restrooms, 21 restrooms yesterday. Out of the 21 restrooms, it was either 8 or 9 of them I had to pressure wash because people can't seem to hit that big hole, you know. I got a great big old crapper hole, and they crap all over the toilet, you know. So I had to pressure wash less than half, about a third of them, and check on the whole campgrounds, all 4 of those campgrounds. And I spent almost two full hours BSing with Forest Service employees that were coming through, going, "Oh, you weren't supposed to start this till next week." I said, "No, I want to do a test run, see if I'm going to accept it or not." So when you take away the 2 hours I spent BSing, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes with these guys, 4 hours is all it took me. And including it in that was 78 miles of driving. So driving 78 miles to hit all those campgrounds and do all those chores in those campgrounds and finally get back to my camp. And I do that twice a week, Fridays and Mondays. Then my 2 campgrounds that I regularly have done all summer, I fit in anywhere I want in the rest of the week. Well, my 2 campgrounds don't get a lot of business this time of year, so probably once a week is all I'll be doing those, and that takes 2 hours max, and that's to keep mine better than anybody else's. Of course, you know, I got to keep mine spotless so that people are happy with me, you know. So there you go. For the next 30 days, Sty is one busy boy. Hey, Blake, great to see you. Chowser, great to see you.
So is there something special in this for you, or are you just doing it for them?
I'm volunteering. Yeah. They're providing all the equipment, gas in the truck, everything, you know.
Yeah.
All I'm giving them is my time. So I figure I'm giving them about 14 hours of actual work a week, you know.
Okay.
And for 14 hours, 3 days a week, I'll be pretty well occupied doing that stuff. That gives me 4 days a week, do whatever the hell I want. So
and free
really,
camping.
And free camping, plus 5 gallons of gas per week. And I got in an argument over that with them. They show up with a 5-gallon can of gas and, "Hey, we got gas for you." They drop gas off, and I go, "Who the hell asked for that?" Well, we figured you probably need it by now running your generator. I said, my generator is so fuel efficient. I'd be lucky if I burned 5 gallons in 2 weeks, the amount of times I fire it up. And they said, well, run it every day. We're going to bring you gas. That's the least we could do for what you're going to do for us for the next month. And yeah, TM, that's right. It's something to do. And a little added bonus to it was, and I got a feeling they're going to treat me well on this deal. I think they're probably going to give me the full volunteer status and give me what they call credited hours as a volunteer. And you get little perks at certain campgrounds and stuff. Like I can go to a campground that's got power and water hookup and not have to pay for that. I can pay $15 a night instead, or I'll pay $7.50 a night instead of the $30 a night. That kind of stuff. You know, once you hit that certain volunteer status, it sounds like they're going to give me that. Hey, Jadzia Dax, great to see you, sweetie.
Oh, Jadzia.
And plus, he said, once you get the routine down, and the fact you don't have to deal so much with campers, because really the campgrounds are only about 25% occupied this time of year. And I don't have to do any reservations or any of that kind of garbage anymore for the rest of the season. He said, if you're bored and you just want something to do, he says, and Katie, our trails person, she's our trail supervisor. They've got AmeriCorps is sending a bunch of young folks out to our district to do a bunch of projects for us. And they got to be supervised. So they're putting a ranger on each one of these groups to supervise them. That's why he asked if I could help out by doing what I'm going to be doing, because it frees their rangers up to supervise these young people out there working in the field. He says, if you want, pick any one of those projects, go hang out. And Katie said she'll just make you a supervisor. You just go out there with your hiking stick, some snacks, and something to drink, and tell these young kids they're not working hard enough. I said, okay, sounds good to me, man. That's a good pastime, too. I love telling people what to do. Yeah. Hi, Rebecca.
Running water.
I don't tell people what to do I, Run?
I can't imagine.
Nah, you just suggested it in such a way that they think it was their idea.
Well, see, that's not a bad way to do something.
Yeah. Hey, Chowser, up here, the only time you're in the Forest Service, the only time you're going to pay over $20 is if, and you'll never pay over $30 in a Forest Service campground, and that's because you got electric and water hookup to your camper. So, and our electric and water hookup sites are nice because the way the water hookup's set up, it's so you actually have a hydrant there that you can connect your camper to, or you can just draw water out of it. So if you tent camp on that site, you can draw you don't have to go to a well or anything. You got the water right at your tent site. Plus, you can run an extension cord from that power pole right into your damn tent. I mean, so the tent campers even use those sites. And our sites are, most of our campgrounds are $15 or $18 a night, unless you have one of our annual passes, which they've got passes for handicap, they got passes for veterans, they got passes for seniors, they've got passes for, if you're a fourth grader, you got a fourth grader in your family, get your butt down to the Forest Service, your local Forest Service office, and they'll give that fourth grader a Forest Service annual pass, and you only pay 50% for the Forest Service campsites. Huh. And free day use. If you go to a day use area where they charge $5 for you to use the area for a day, you don't pay nothing. If you got a fourth grader in your family, you betcha. And that's nationwide, by the way. And all those
Fourth grade.
past, it's to encourage kids to get interested in the outdoors and the Forest Service and how
So
the
if you've
Forest
never
Service.
gotten, so if you've never gotten past the fourth grade, is that still considered a fourth grader?
I should get one every year for running water. He hasn't graduated the fourth grade in the last 40, 47 years, 46 years, something like that. Yeah. So yeah,
41 years.
41 years. Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
well,
So I should have been
I'm
paying.
45.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
I-
That's right.
Not 4
That-
years
yeah.
old, fourth grade.
Fourth grade, you'd be 9 years old. So
Yeah.
yeah, 30 plus years. But 30
Well,
plus
I don't
years,
know with
I was
the
paying
rate
full
you were
price.
homeschooling. Yeah, the rate you were homeschooling us, we were a wee bit ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
When we
You
got to
can't.
public school, that sucked.
You came out of the first grade ready for sixth grade. Yeah. Yeah, running water, he talks about that once in a while that, oh, yeah, when we were homeschooled, we were schooled. Yeah. Guess what? Schoolwork. That's it. It was kind of fun giving my kids homework at home. Well, you guys, you're going to have some homework to do.
Oh,
What do you
can't complain
mean?
about the teacher then?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got to be careful bitching about the teacher,
Right.
especially their English teacher. My wife took some of the softer topics. I had to do science, and math, and blah blah. But she took some of the softer topics. But they didn't want to piss off that teacher. Yep. Liver for supper again.
Yeah. When you learn how to do your homework correctly, you'll stop
Yeah.
getting liver.
You can't have any pudding until you eat your meat.
That's right.
Yeah. Thanks, Rebecca, for sharing it out. Have a huge water problem here. No rain. Looks like we will maybe be out of drinking water in sinks for some time, sadly. Wow. Bummer. The damn, it rained here the night before last. It just rained and rained. God damn rain. I pulled my motorboat out of the lake, hooked it up to the truck, and drug that sucker through my campsite. I got it sitting there. I'll haul it home next week. But I got it out of the lake, got the motor off of it and everything. And so it's just sitting there. And I had pumped it out. It was bone dry. We had a couple good, nice, dry days. The boat was just bone dry. Had that rain night before last. I come out there. I come out that morning. I look and I go, holy shit, that's a lot of rain when it comes right up to the tops of the seats of that big boat.
A lot of
It's
rain.
I just about killed the 12-volt battery running the pump to pump that damn thing out.
Wow.
If it would have been in the lake, it would have sank. It's just like, holy shit, that's a lot of rain. And we have a few people that they get really pretty anal about campers leaving live fires when they pull out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, with some of the weather we've had, fortunately, I see a live fire, I go over, and if it's just hot ash and not actual chunks of wood with flames, I just once in a while keep an eye on it. That ain't gonna start no damn forest fire. It's too damn wet. Too damn wet. But some people, it's just like, those campers should never be allowed to come back. Oh, get.
There you go. If every time a camper didn't follow rules to the T, no, there would be no campers.
It'd be empty. Hey, West Haven, great to see you. Yeah, there'd be no campers.
Yep.
Oh, I remember you. You can't stay here because you left a napkin on the ground when you left.
Right.
Now, and the ones that should be booted out of the campgrounds, get away with that shit. The had a guy at Beaver Lake. Thank God that's all gravel roads around there. Gets to the gate of our campground, pulls out on the gravel road, jumps out, and pulls his Blackwater tank valve and takes off down the road. Well, Blackwater is the toilet. That's all the toilet water, and they had been there for 2 weeks. and there were 5 people in that RV, and they're dumping it down the damn gravel road. And no, I won't be going down that gravel road for a while.
No.
Hey, Spicy, what are you doing? Look at that shit, guys.
Just reminding people that the super chat thing, that little dollar sign down there, it does work.
Yeah,
I'm
you just
positive
proved
does
it,
work.
man. You just proved it. Look at that. Look at that. Hey, that's thank you so much there, Phil. That's a third of the new hammock I bought today.
There you go.
Guess what I'm doing with the camper, man?
What are you doing with camper, man?
If I got to be in that thing all the time, next season it'll be another 5.5 months pull, I think. I'm pulling the Murphy bed out of it.
Yeah.
I'm stringing a hammock end for end in that thing. Yeah. Ooh, I'm looking forward to it, man. I am so looking forward to it. I got it all figured out. I'm going to have walk-in space. I'm going to have a chair and a footstool. I'll be able.
Hammock.
Oh, hammocks are comfortable, man.
Yeah, your body is all kind of, yeah, no, not me.
No,
Not if you know how to use it right.
If you know how to use it right, it's cradling, and the way I string my hammock, I'm a side sleeper. I can lay on my side in the damn thing just comfortable, and I don't get the backaches I get sleeping on that flat Murphy bed. Hey, Dr. Smith, good to see you. But yeah, I bought a hammock today, and I ordered a underquilt for it because it's going to start getting pretty cold. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, right, Dave. That site should always be cleaner than when your arrival. I always say, leave it the way you found it or better, because sometimes you find a site and it's in great shape. At least leave it the way you found it then, and I have to say, I've had a few campers that have left pretty dirty sites, where I had garbage to clean up and fire pits full of garbage and stuff. But I've only had a few, and I've had a lot of campers in my 2 campgrounds this year, and that's not bad. Just probably literally a handful of campers where I actually had to put any amount of time into cleaning up their site because they left it bad. I did have one last week. They left. They had been there 2 weeks, and they had hauled so much firewood in and a bunch of tree branches and crap for kindling. And they were breaking all them branches up for kindling every time they started a fire. And all the firewood they hauled in had bark sloughing off of it, breaking off of it all the time. Sure. So when they left, they thought they were doing the campground the next camper a big favor. We'll leave them some firewood. And that kindling pile. Well, that kindling pile is just a big old pile of busted up brush. And I spent 4 hours that day sitting at the picnic table of that campsite reading a book, about every 15 minutes going over and putting 3 or 4 more big rakefuls of trash, that wood crap, in the fire pit. I burned all that crap they left laying around, and all I left there was the 12 pieces of firewood after I knocked the bark off of them and threw that in the fire pit too. So I burned all of their wood trash they left there and raked up the whole site. The next camper came in, and they came down to me and they said, "You wouldn't have a rake we could borrow?" And I go, "Oh, you're about the 4th camper this year that's asked if they could borrow a rake." I said, "What do you need a rake for?" Well, the way the site looked when we got here, we thought we should leave it looking the way we found it. It was all raked really nice. And as I said,
That's
don't,
nice.
I said, thank you, but don't sweat it. I walked up there, looked, their site didn't need raking. You could barely tell they had been there, you know. Um, but I love it. I love it. I bet, you know, you meet a lot of good folks. I met a very unliberal liberal Texan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He pulled in with brand spanking new Ford 350 F350. Beautiful truck, man. Had all the options, everything on that, all the bells and whistles. Pulling a fully restored 32-foot Airstream, that big silver beauty.
Yeah, nice.
Come pulling in with that, and he decides to put it in the campsite next to mine, and I was walking through the campground, got up by his site, and he was out there doing something, and I said, "Hello, welcome to East Twin," and he goes, "Yeah, shit, in a state full of morons." And I go, "Excuse me?" And he goes, "Wisconsinites are all morons. There isn't a smart one out of the whole damn state." And I said, "Well, I take issue with that." I said, "I'm from Wisconsin." And he goes, "Oh, did you just figure that out?" He says, "That's about how smart Wisconsinites are." He says, "If someone doesn't tell you that you're from Wisconsin, you could live here your whole life and not know it." And I thought, well, oh, yeah, okay, here's an a-hole. So I just said, "Well, I hope you enjoy your stay." And I continued on. You can read someone that, yeah, that's not a person I want to have a conversation with. And so I moved on. First night, other than their dog barking, it was just him and his wife. Other than their damn dog barking, they finally got that dog to shut up about 10 o'clock. They must put it in the trailer or something. But other than that, didn't hear nothing from him. Didn't hear nothing all the next day. I was gone for a couple of hours doing my chores at the other campground. I get back, and it's quiet in the campground. It's just him and another camper over on the other side of the campground. It's nice and quiet. And I thought, oh, this evening I'm going to kick back. And I did. I just kicked back, and running off my batteries, I decided I'm going to watch a movie. And I'm just going to kick back in my trailer and watch a movie. About 8:30, I started watching this movie. 2-hour movie. I don't even remember which movie it was. And started watching it. 8:30. All of a sudden, and it's pitch black out by 8:30 now. Boom, 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 boom on my trailer door. That little trailer, oh my God. I know what it'd be like to be sitting inside of a kettle drum and somebody decided to start beating on it. I flew off my Murphy bed and opened the door, and I go, "What's wrong?" I right away. The first thing that threw my mind is there's an emergency of some kind. Somebody that panicky pounded on the door. And there's this big Texan standing there. And he goes, "I know you're not going to like this, but I have to demand." And he says, and I mean demand, "You get your ass over to whoever that guy is that's playing that saxophone and tell him to shut the hell up." And I go, "Say what?" And he goes, "There's some jerk across the lake there sitting down at his dock playing the saxophone, and you're the host. You need to put an end to that crap." I said, "Well, okay." I said, "Just a second." And I go, "I don't hear him. He must have quit playing." And he goes, "No, he was playing that damn thing at 4 o'clock this afternoon while I was out on the lake fishing, and I don't need to be hearing no damn saxophone while I'm fishing." And I go, "Well, okay. You waited 4.5 hours to come and complain about this guy. You spent 4.5 hours getting yourself all pissed off and fired up to come pound on my trailer and start yelling at me, one of your Wisconsin morons, to go over there and tell another Wisconsin moron to quit playing his horn." I said, "First of all, you're not in a wilderness campground. Second of all, those are all pieces of private property over on that little end of the lake. And that happens to be a private homeowner over there. And if he's playing his saxophone on his dock at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there ain't a damn thing anybody can do about it. He says, then you're a worthless host. He says, you're not getting it. I'm demanding that you get out of that trailer, get in that truck, and get your ass over there and shut him up. Make sure he doesn't play that again tomorrow. I damn near burst out laughing in the guy's face, like, what in the Sam hell? And he goes, it's people like that that think they've got these so-called individual rights that need to be shut down. All you people up here in Wisconsin, you got this, we got our individual rights thing, bullshit. And I couldn't help myself. I asked him. I had to ask him. You wouldn't happen to be from Houston, Texas, would you? All of a sudden he got all defensive. Well, what's that got to do with anything? I said, well, I'm just curious. Are you from Houston? And he goes, yeah. We got a house in Bastrop, too. I said, you have a house in Bastrop? Are your neighbors friendly with you? Not Bastrop. They're so conservative in Bastrop compared to Houston. Then I saw some of the stickers on the back of his new truck and his trailer. Yeah, he's a liberal Texan. And he thought that somebody's got to be the law around here and make that guy has no right to exercise that right, you know.
So who is that you have blue in here that says Tales of a Campground Host?
That's Travis. That's Destination Great Lakes, folks. Take notice. Tales of a Campground Host. That is Destination Great Lakes. They've changed their channel name.
Well, it's not a new channel. Just changed your name.
Right. So if you're subscribed to them, nothing changed except the name. If you're not subscribed to them, you should jump over there and do so. And I see John from Adventures in the Heartland is here, and Tiger Muskie. Yay, great to see you guys. But yeah, so that guy, he said, well, I'm not going to stay in a lousy campground like this. And I said,
bye.
Well, I'm good. I said, I'm good with that. I said, you know, if you want to go stay in a different campground, that's your privilege. And he goes, not in the state of Wisconsin, lousy frickin' people here. He says, you're all a bunch of morons. I said, now I've had enough. I said, you come here, you started off the very first time we ever talked, you called me a moron. You've called me a moron about 5 times now. I said, I'm tired of it. I said, here's the scoop. You are camping in a different campground as of tomorrow, because whether that guy plays his saxophone or not, I don't want you here. I don't want you here. I said, you're actually causing disruption tonight, standing here yelling at me in the host's site. I said, so please move on to a different campground somewhere. If you don't like Wisconsinites, you should head for the border. He pulled out 6 o'clock in the morning next morning. So he got the point. Yeah, he kind of took me to the end of my rope. I was just like, I don't have to stand here and be berated and insulted by this goofball, you know. Hey, cheesehead, so I can go out in the middle of the lake and practice my trombone in my boat. Yeah, you're damn right you can. There's no law against it.
You know, Cheesehead in his rusty trombone, he's all about it.
He can go out there and pull his bone on the lake all day long, and nobody's going to give a damn. Yeah. Yep.
He'll play any rusty trombone he can get his hand on.
I remember, as a liberal, he thinks he's smarter than everyone. You said that. You said that, not me. Yeah. I've already said enough to get in trouble tonight. So, and that's the thing is, I tell you what, Adventures in the Heartland knows we spent probably 2 hours in an awesome conversation. That video will go up. I don't know when. I'll get into that in a minute. But I took them up to this awesome outlook, and we went and checked it out. And there were rock climbers up there climbing this granite rock face. It was great. And I got to actually chat with a gal. She said I could film. Well, I chatted with her, so I got her in this video. But we spent about 2 hours chatting with her. And she's going to a liberal arts college, and then actually it's an environmental based college, but a lot of liberal arts there and a lot of liberal students and professors there. And we had an awesome conversation. We found so much common ground that politics wasn't an issue.
Just saw running water go by the front of his truck.
Don't get run over by that other truck. That'd be a viral video.
Well, he's in front of his truck, so he's not going to get run over in front of his truck. So.
No, I'm talking about the one that's pulling out.
Well, I saw the one pulling out. So he was in front of his truck. You weren't listening to me.
Yeah, but no.
Clean out your ears, old man.
No, you're twisting my shit around.
Your ears. Stop.
You're twisting my shit around. Yeah, black. If he was walking past the front of his truck and looking at the camera showing off, thinking he's a star, walking across the parking lot, he could have walked right in front of that truck.
No, he was walking from that direction to this direction. He wasn't walking that direction. So you weren't paying attention.
I didn't see him walking at all. I was just listening to you, and you never told me which direction he was walking.
I shouldn't have to tell you. She's got eyes.
The fucking eyes don't work good when they're not looking at the same shit you're looking at.
Well, the screen's not. It's not like the screen's that big. I mean, now he's moving the truck.
Oh yeah, I got a ways to go yet.
Oh, you must have been there just to. Well, watch out for the truck.
See, there's that truck. Yeah, gotta watch out for this shit, Phil.
Yep.
You never know when you're gonna get ran over.
So that was moving from right to left, guy. That was moving from right to left. You
shut up. Nobody's caring. They might be hearing, but they don't care, man.
What's up, Joe W?
Hey, Play-Doh Chuck.
Get your motor running.
Run over Phil while you're at it.
Oh, man.
Just stop anywhere on the side of the road.
Right.
That's fine.
Now I'm starting to feel like I got Cheesehead up here with me. I mean, hey, Brian, great to see you.
Yeah, Phil, these guys, they just create parking spots wherever they want. Me, I already paid for my parking spot. It's waiting for me down in Tennessee.
Yeah. When I drove truck over the road, that would be a cold day in hell. Even in California, you couldn't prepay for a parking spot back then. It was just first come, first served, the rest of your shit out of luck. And now these guys, they reserve their parking spots. It's nuts.
Well, and to top it off, I usually feel that the petrol and TAs, they're together, same company. But if I put 1,000 gallons or more in during the month at the petrol TAs, that next month I qualify for free parking every day. So I don't even have to pay for my parking spot. I just call, do it on the app and tell it to hold a spot for me.
Spoiled rotten.
Excuse me.
And it's the best spots in the truck stop, the ones right up front, so you don't have to walk that far.
What's up, Dave Crafts?
Englander truck.
What's up, Dave Crafts?
You're talking about food.
Food.
Hoity. Good to see you. Yeah, it's hard to hit 1,000. Everybody out there, check each other out, man. Check each other's channels out. Help
What's up,
support everybody. Yeah.
AOK Foraging? How you doing?
Hey, Thack. Good to see ya. AOK Foraging's in the house. I've been watching some of Thack's videos. Now I'm trying to get caught up with people's channels now that I can watch videos on my phone out at camp. There's Alexander, Old Country Farming Home and Gardeners Guild. Um, we're all doing pretty good. Alexander decided he wanted the longest channel name on YouTube, of course, you know. Yeah, if Brenda's there, say hi to Brenda too. Yeah, your latest video, was that the spam one, Cheesehead? If it's the spam one, yes, I watched that. I mean, for crying out loud, you go all the way to Glacier National Park and eat spam. I mean,
I thought maybe spamming people. No?
I mean, what the hell? You should have been. And he's talking about, I might try fishing here. They got cutthroat trout in there. Why in the hell didn't you go fishing first and then do a video of eating a nice cutthroat, man?
Right?
Yeah. Yup, he says. Yup. Yeah. It's a good video. It's spam and taters. I mean, it's simple as sin, you know. Sizzle up some spam in a camp cup, and
I got something cool today.
So, what you got there?
I got a beer. It's a Def Leppard like conglomeration with Elation. So yeah, it's a nice Def Leppard. My wife's like, when you get done with that, she says, "Give me the bottle. I want to keep the bottle." I'm like, "I'm not opening this bitch. I only got one. I'm not opening."
Oh yeah, that's long-term souvenir material.
Unless, of course, I were to get more. If I were to get more, it changes the whole thing. But otherwise, we just save this. So
you didn't catch anything, Cheesehead? Well, that's good for the midsection. You know, if you only eat what you catch, you lose a lot of weight, pal.
What's up, Alexander?
Spam makes a cutthroat flavor. Cutthroat in a can.
You know, we got spam a couple times when I was in the Marine Corps, and there's a lot of people that didn't really like it. Now they don't in the Marine Corps, they really don't cook it good enough. You need, for me, you need to put that thing in like a cast iron skillet or something
and fry it up.
Both
Get
sides
it crispy.
Of that spam, make it nice and crispy on both sides.
Yeah.
So nice and a lot of things I like, you know, medium or medium rare. Spam ain't one of them. my spam, I want that stuff. I want
you watch
charred.
You watch Cheesehead's video while he's making it. He takes maybe about a half a can of spam and dices it up, puts it in his camp cup, and he's heating that up over the fire. And then he's going to make instant taters in with it. Well, while he's sitting there letting that sizzle on the fire, he's cutting big chunks out of the can and just eating them right out of the can. And now, when years ago, when Running Water was young, and
decades ago.
It literally was decades ago. Mm-hmm. Probably close to about 3 decades ago. So anyway, I would get certain foods from the tribal commodities.
Oh, not the monkey meat.
I knew he'd say it.
Oh,
the monkey meat. Yeah. We got these big ass cans, round cans, right? And they're like a number 8 can. They're big cans. And it was like a great big old round, long can shaped chunk of spam. Except that there were things in that didn't look Spanish. And
yeah, Yeah, it's extra
and
chunky.
it was extra chunky spam. And I kid you not, every kid on the reservation, all of it, everybody actually, called it monkey meat. And we would get these cans of beef, right? And it was great. I mean, it made great stew, it made great soups, make gravy with it, have it over taters. It was good beef in the can. The only problem was this when they butchered the damn cow, they didn't give a shit if they got veins or anything in with the meat, when they so you'd find these chunks of vein that were maybe oh about 3/4 to an inch long, and they're about as big around as a dime. Great big vein in with that meat. So once you've had a can of that and you realize those veins can be in there, you open the can, drain the juice off, dump the can out on a plate, and then you pick through it and you pick those veins out. And I'll never forget my kids asking, "What are those?" And I go, "Well, this meat, it's the whole cow. Those are assholes, and we don't eat the assholes, so we pick them out before we eat that meat."
You're safe than running water.
So, well, he would have been a cannibal, one asshole eating another. You know. But for the longest time, my young children, they didn't care who it was. Oh, what's your mom doing in there? Oh, she's picking assholes out of the meat.
Oh. Well,
I couldn't punish
you
them.
teach your kids that shit, they're gonna, hey.
Yeah,
The worst
Hey,
worst thing
Kathy.
was with that monkey meat, that luncheon meat in the can, having my two sisters fighting over the meat jello.
Yeah, they
Meat
wanted to
jello.
eat the
Really? Someone fight
gelatin.
over the meat jello? Come on.
The gelatin out of the can. You get it on
Oh,
Spam
I know what you're
too.
talking about. That's fucking
Those
disgusting.
those girls would fight over the gelatin off of that monkey meat, and they'd sit there with spoons eating that shit. And it's just don't do it in front of me, man. Just don't do it in front of me. As I'll take the meat off of this plate, put it on this one. You guys fight over that
Ugh.
snot. I don't, just don't do it in front of me. And preferably don't do it in the damn kitchen. Oh, the yeah,
Pickled
yeah.
assholes and pepper brine. Ugh. Sounds great, Chuck.
Yeah. Yes.
It'd be like drinking a gallon of buttermilk. Ugh.
Oh, that'd be great, man. I wish I had some buttermilk.
Buttermilk.
Hey, Kathleen. Kendall, Jack's grandma. Yes. Jack's grandma is here. Great to see you,
Yeah, she's been here for a
Kathleen.
while.
It's been a while.
She's been here for a while, Sty. Thanks for paying attention.
I'm busy trying to corral your ass all night.
Corral me. I got you.
That's,
yeah.
I mean, son
I'm the
of a
one out of
bitch.
control.
You're worse than a
yeah.
kid with the terrible twos for the fifth time running all over the damn room, trying to hang on to you.
So the guy from Texas, from Houston, Texas.
Yep.
Did you tell that story Monday night on my live stream?
I don't know if I did. I don't think so.
Because either that or you told it this time last week. Because I'd already heard that story.
Yeah.
Did I?
Did you tell it on mine, or did you tell it last week?
I didn't tell it that. Look at all these new people we got here tonight that haven't been here, and I'm doing them a service, and you can kiss my ass.
Yeah, Phil. He wasn't telling it to us. He's telling it to those that didn't get to hear it last week.
Right.
Okay, so
thank you, Running Water.
So I'm not out of my mind. He told the same story twice, just the following week later. It was a little more interesting this time. There was a little more colorful this time than it was last time. Not much more, There's some highlights, but
Yeah. While I've had time to let the whole situation soak in.
Time to when everything's spicy.
Yeah. See, Cheesehead hadn't heard it. And Cheesehead, if he found out that I had told something last week that he didn't get to hear, he'd be all pissed off. See, Cheesehead, it's not me, it's Phil trying to cheat you out of my stories.
Cheesehead don't pay attention to shit, So, and if someone doesn't give this guy a hard time, his head would get way, way, way too big. So someone's got to keep Sty grounded. And
yeah, see, Kathy missed it last week. So yeah, keep me grounded. See, to Phil, to keep Sty grounded, that requires a hole in the ground, 3 by 6 feet by 6 feet. Yeah, I know what he means by grounded.
We can range that.
Boy, that's awfully ambitious. I was thinking more like 6 inches. And
that's it. If running water was burying me, he'd just take debris around the area and throw it on top of me because he ain't digging no damn hole.
Nah, let the critters take care of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, time for you to get back to the wilderness.
Well, I tell people that now that if I never come back to camp, that means I'm sitting under a tree out there on some trail somewhere with a big smile on my face on my way out. Yep.
You moved to that a year and a half ago.
Heading on down the next adventure, I did
We care about you, you old fart.
What?
What?
Are you saying something I find hard to believe?
It's only because we care about you.
Yeah, you are saying something.
Privately, it's a different thing, but publicly,
it seems hard to believe. Yeah.
Publicly, we care about you. Privately, different story. Bury his ass up. Use it as a bike rack. What?
Oh, wow. There's a car on fire.
Where at? In front of you?
No, off that exit.
Well, yeah, it had to have been, right? For you to see a car's on fire, for him to say that, it's already got to be by him.
Yeah. There's a car on fire back there.
Right? Yeah. That was a damn stupid reply by myself, I have to admit.
Yeah, Kathy, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Good. Some folks.
I tell you,
video time with salmon running. Yeah,
there's a lot of people that does what running water does, and they get tons and tons and tons of views. Just people that hey, that's for them. That's relaxing. No sound.
Yeah.
No nothing. Just watching that stuff.
Crazy Ann loves that shit, man.
Well, this is my favorite kind of driving, the nighttime driving.
Yeah.
Daytime, I hate the daytime. At nighttime, I can relax. All I've got to focus on is the road, and that's all you got to worry about. During the daytime, my focus is not. It should only be on the road, but it's on the stuff around me. I'm a rubbernecker without being. So what happens is I get my brain is going so much. There's a point in time where I start getting kind of groggy and sleepy. I'm more sleepy in the daytime driving, especially if it's warm, than I am at nighttime. Nighttime, I'm like wide awake.
But I'm one of those that if I'm behind the wheel, I could stay up 36 hours straight. I'll drive. The moment I get out from the wheel, I'm crashing.
Wow. Yeah. When I was driving, I loved driving over the road, but having a wife and kids back home, it just didn't work out.
Yeah, that's.
But if I would have been single, I would have done that for a career. I love that, and I was one. I typically, except on load and unload days, I always ran from about 8 o'clock at night until 8 in the morning. That's when I wanted to run. I'd run the graveyard all the way through, because look at the traffic. You don't have the traffic to deal with, and
idiots are at a minimum.
Yeah, Then you can
gotta
crank
gotta
up
watch
some
out for the drunks.
tunes. Yeah, that's it. You got to just watch for the drunks.
And you're
That's
bigger
it.
than the drunks, so you're pretty in most
Well,
cases.
that's it. Is you watch for them because you don't want to chip the paint on your truck. And
Stop 8 minutes ago. It didn't stop. It's still moving
Well,
there.
and but for me, for the most part, people aren't too stupid around my truck because I'm a flatbedder and almost
yeah,
everyone's seen Final Destination.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they know what happens when stuff comes flying off the flatbed.
Yeah, when I see stuff like that, I don't want to
Keep
be
chatting.
anywhere
I'll be
near.
right back.
I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to be one of those vehicles that something comes flying off of. Even around here where we get behind someone who's got those big round barrels of hay on the back of their farming stuff. I don't want to be anywhere near that if something comes off, man. I don't want to be that person. So
Right. Well,
yeah,
yeah, we just had there's a chunk of I-65 that was closed in Indiana, where a coil of steel, steel sheet coil, came off the trailer
no
and
fucking way.
unwound, end up hit. Yeah, yeah. What happened
Unwound?
is, yeah. Well, a car lost control, hit the trailer, and it ended up snapping the chains on, because the chains go through the rub rails on the side of the trailer.
Wow.
Ended up snapping the chains, and the coil came off and landed on top of the car, and then unspooled. So the whole highway's blocked, and the person that was in that car dead.
Oh, greasy spot, right?
Because that there, it's a 45,000-pound coil come off that trailer, land on top of a little 4-door sedan.
Right.
Coil weighs 10 times as much as the car.
Well, if your chain snapped and you had to brake hard, that thing would go right through your own cab, and you'd be a greasy spot.
Right.
It's like a crazy steamroller times 10. Yeah, those coils of steel. I see those. See, I get up next to these like he's talking about. Regular semi, I'm okay. But when I can see stuff that is potentially dangerous of coming off of there, and I look at this, and sometimes when I see those straps flapping on some of that stuff, they don't have big straps on steel that would be flapping, because if you got anything on steel that's flapping like this, that shit ain't secure anyways. But on some of that stuff, when you see those straps flapping like that, the one I'm like, God damn, that can't be secure. So,
yeah, well, yeah, flatbed, yeah, you get to see everything that's on that trailer. Where if it's the van trailers, it could be toilet paper in there. Who knows?
Exactly. You hope it's toilet paper in there. That's a nice.
They could have a truckload of styrofoam peanuts for all you know, but flatbed, there's no hiding it. It's like, yep, that'll squish you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and I haul a lot of those coils, a lot of the plate steel, rods, rebar.
Do you haul any styrofoam peanuts?
No, not since I got on flatbed.
Yeah, they seem to fly off the back of the flatbed. Something weird about that.
Okay, funny story for you, Phil. I had picked up these styrofoam peanuts. They make it out of corn product.
Okay.
So they're biodegradable. You can actually eat them. They taste like puffed corn, but they filled up the trailer.
Peanuts are not corn. Just ask Raven. He'll fact check. Hold on a second.
shit.
Running water. Hold on a second. Running water's talking here. Shush.
Hey, what the fuck?
Shush.
But
yeah,
the way
look
they
who
loaded
has to shush. I'll fix that shush shit. That's my goddamn channel. Hey, what the hell?
But yeah,
Continue, running water.
But they just, they got the big holes, and they just blow the peanuts into the back of the trailer, fill it up to the back, and then they put like a sheet of plastic back there to create a little wall and close the one door, and then fill up as much as they can in there, because it's just weightless and it's bulk. And I had picked it up in California, and it's going to Oklahoma City. Just before you get to Oklahoma City, there's a weigh station. I pull in, and they got 2 lanes. You got the lane with the scale if you're loaded, and then there's a lane that if you're empty, you can bypass. Well, I pulled on the scale one because, hey, I'm loaded.
And they're yelling at you.
Yeah, they pulled me around back because they want to inspect my load. And I told them, I'm like, no, you don't want to open it. It's like, well, no, we'll pop the seal and we'll put our own seal on there. It's Oklahoma. It's windy as hell out there, and the wind's blowing right at the back of the trailer. I'm like, you don't want to open that. Oh, I'm opening it. I told him, I said, no, look at the bills. And he's like, no, you just need to stay over there. I'm like, okay. Go over. He opened that up. The wind caught the door and whipped the door out. That wind went right down that trailer and come back with all those peanuts blowing out and all across Oklahoma and northern Texas. You know,
Uh,
it's like, yeah, guess you guys just bought some peanuts.
Yeah.
the best one I saw where a DOT officer insisted on opening a damn trailer. I was following this guy down the interstate. We're going through Colorado and cutting on up. We ended up just outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And there was a scale, and we pulled on the damn scale, middle of the frickin' night. Didn't think the scale would even be open. No, it was. And this guy's in front of me, and he gets on the radio, and he says, "Oh shit!" He says, I he says, I don't want to roll over that scale." And I asked him, I said, "Why not?" And he says, "They're going to wonder what the hell I got in this trailer." And he's got a dry box trailer. And okay, he pulls on that scale in front of me, and all of a sudden this DOT officer comes out of the scale house, and he stops me, and he says, "You need to stay back. We're going to be backing that truck up, reweighing it," because it only had a single deck scale, so they're weighing that the most they can weigh is 2 axles at a time. Well, he rolled on the scale, and they're watching the scale go up and down, up and down. And then they weighed his trailer axles, and that's going up and down. It's changing about.
They got trampolines in the back?
It's changing. I got out of my truck while they're yelling at this guy. He's sitting on the scale, and they're saying, "You got to open that trailer." And he said, "You don't want to open that trailer. I won't open that trailer." And he said, and the DOT officer said, "You have to open that trailer." And he said, "I'm just the driver. The owner of the rig told me to haul this load." And that DOT officer said, "Unless you've got about a 1,200-pound basketball rolling from one end to the next in that trailer, we're going to look in there." The guy says, and he says, "If I had a bill of lading, I'd show it to you, but this is a private haul. The guy that owns the truck, that what's in there, it belongs to him, and you don't want to open it." Well, that officer, no way in hell you're going to tell me what to do. He lifted the handle on that trailer, unlocked it, pulled that trailer door open, got knocked right on his ass by about a 600-pound pig, and there's like 6 pigs in there running back and forth inside that damn trailer. Inside the trailer, and well, they're sliding back and forth, most of them, because it's just full of pig shit. And 3 of them big ass pigs jumped out the ass end of that truck, and they're running around the weigh station parking lot, squealing like mad. And this DOT officer jumps up, and he's just shaking. And the guy said, "I told you, you don't want to open that door." And I was laughing so goddamn hard in my truck, and I only had my window cracked open, and that DOT officer could hear me laughing. He turned around and he says, "Weather Shield, get your ass around him and the hell out of my parking lot." Okay. Sorry. Didn't mean to laugh so hard, but that was pretty cool when that big old black and white Poland 600-pound pig come Peter Panning out the ass end of that truck right in your face. That was pretty cool. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, when people tell you don't want to do something, you don't want to do something.
The
Now, I was going to ask running water this earlier, and then Sty was just he was anxious to tell his story that I didn't get a chance to ask running water. How much does a trailer full of peanuts weigh?
What about 6 or 8,000 pounds?
Oh, those
Yeah, they're
packets?
dry peanuts.
Yeah.
The packing peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 5,000-6,000 pounds.
Really, there's that much, huh?
Oh yeah,
That's
well, that's a
really
lot of them.
that's really not a lot of weight for the volume that you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You know?
53 foot by 8 foot by 10 foot.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
and you fill a 50-gallon bag with those. They weigh about as much as that bag does. So
Right.
uh,
It reminds me of
50
the old,
gallons is probably 3 pounds.
reminds me of the old story of what weighs more, a pound of steel or a pound of feathers?
Right? Yeah. Pound this. Ask me a stupid question like that. And I can remember the first time I was asked that, and I was just a young boy at the time. Some other kid asked me, "Yeah, what weighs more, a pound of steel or a pound of feathers?" And I said, "Who would give a shit? Really, who would give a shit which one weighs more? What do the two have to do with each other?" I mean, yeah.
Well, apparently, there goes that flatbed trucker. Apparently, I mean, he went by you like you're standing still. He's got to be doing at least 10 to 15 miles an hour quicker than you are.
Oh, let's see what the radar says. Yeah, he's going 83.
Holy shit, Batman!
Yeah.
And you're in a 70-mile-an-hour zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pounding pavement. Yeah.
Well, he is cruising, man. He must be
The-
late.
Must be late.
Because if you're
Very
doing
late.
13, if you're doing the 13 over the truck driver, you're more likely to get pulled over than you are doing 13 over the car, I would think. But maybe
Oh
not.
yeah.
Yeah,
It depends.
It depends. Yeah. Yeah.
Depends where you're at.
I got this.
Oh, I was going to say, I got it. Yeah. I like how they just, I got it on the StreamYard side, so it disappears there too.
I got it on the YouTube side, so.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
Idiot.
That I like.
That's another thing I don't like about China.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no reason to make an issue of it, but bye.
Oh.
Bye.
So sorry. Goodbye.
So sorry. You have very nice night. You have nice night.
Oh.
Night. You have Mama-san tuck you in.
Don't
Yeah.
more hairy asshole. Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed one of his comments in there. Yeah, I know who he is. Come of some young guy. Yeah,
Right.
that guy.
That was funny. My boss yesterday gave me this little brochure. That
Night, Dave.
Someone left a bunch of them in the dealership. And when you first look at the brochure, you think, well, maybe this is like a Chinese carryout menu, right? Because it's shaped like a carryout menu for a Chinese restaurant. They drop that shit by dealerships all the time. And I looked at it initially and I was thinking, oh, that's not a Chinese restaurant. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's like a Chinese or Japanese ballet in our area. I was like, well, do they do ballets with like happy endings, or do you just sit and watch them dance? I don't know.
Well, yeah. If you call it a ballet instead of strip club, the community accepts the business a lot easier.
And do you have to pay the extra $10? That's the question too, right?
That's it. Yeah. What do you mean I got to pay a cover charge at the door and I can't sit at the stage unless I got a stack of tens,
That's right.
Yeah.
Only makes sense.
That I tell you what, I got in trouble.
Oh.
There was a strip joint not far from here that a few of us guys decided to stop in at. And oh boy, I disappointed. Ooh, scary. And
Was it
this
mirrors?
this gal comes dancing up to us. We're sitting at the stage. She comes dancing up to us, and the buddy that I'm with, he's holding out a $10 bill to her. That's the first time I ever had a drink kicked into my lap. I said, "Oh, get real. She's not going to make change for you." Like, that broad kicked that drink right in my lap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give me a second, fellas. I'll be right back.
you betcha. the yeah, yeah. You know, Phil uses Samantha as his emoji when he goes off screen.
Mhm.
You know, why can't he just put her up there like that and shut up? It would be so, I mean, so much more pleasant. I mean, oh, isn't that terrible? Uh-huh. What state are you in? Running water?
Good question. I think this is Kentucky. Yeah, Kentucky.
Yes.
Coming up on Lexington.
There you go.
Now I'm going to cut south.
Hey,
towards
Yoran.
Tennessee.
Yoran. Good to see you. Shadow Scout Swede, yes. I knew a dancer that when I was about done with my beer, and then I'd get a free one. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. In my young days, yeah, place I used to hang out at, they give me free drinks. They give me free drinks all the time. Yeah. You're close to. Oh, you whitey. The I haven't tried streaming yet on my phone out at camp. I'm gonna finish the season out and then mess with that. The Hey guys, I'm gonna play this while we wait for Phil. I gotta play it at least once a night. Now, this hasn't been updated, so if you are a member and you aren't in this clip, it's only 1 minute long. If you're not in this clip, don't worry about it. Next week I'll get it all updated. But here's my members as of last week. There you go. Hoity. That's what I had said way in the beginning when you first came on. I wasn't sure if I was right or not. That's cool. I love it. Yeah. Hoity. And it does make sense. Yeah. Love this time of Wednesday night camp chat. Matt. Yeah. The my members, they're all the greatest people. They're the greatest people, man. With some of the changes and upgrades I'm doing to my trailer, my members are really really what supports that. Filled it, pushing damn buttons. That guy, he shows up and then pushes a button and disappears. I mean, he fell right out of the basement. I didn't know I had a sub basement.
Yeah, trapdoor.
Yeah. Where? Oh shit! He found his way back up the steps.
What
Yeah,
the hell?
that's it.
Yes. So Phil, how are the people
Uh,
under the stairs?
I tell you what, man.
how long have you been on YouTube now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sty, by the way, while I was underneath there, you need to trim up a little bit, my friend.
Back off.
It looks like you haven't trimmed up downstairs since you trimmed up upstairs. So,
Hey, watch it. Hey, watch it.
Yeah.
There's
yeah,
some.
Sty,
There's
Sty
some
is so
things.
outdoorsy that he has 2 beards.
exactly right.
There's. I tell you what. There's some things about this old boy that haven't aged. You better watch it, boy.
Mm-hmm.
You better watch it. I tell you what. You go from. Well, when I capped out, I was at 267 to 275, right around there, but now I'm down to 176. God, it's amazing. I didn't think you could get bigger when you're 60 plus years old. Yeah, yeah. I guess if you get rid of all of the surrounding, all the surrounding landscape, yeah, things look a little more impressive. I guess it's nothing worse than looking at yourself in the mirror and you go, "Whose is that? Where'd that come from?" Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me. I need to set up an eye appointment when I get home.
Oh, you shut up. I can't
So-
get it. I was going to get my new glasses this month, but I can't get an eye appointment for when I'm in town. So I got to wait until I'm back from camp permanently, and then I can set up my eye appointment. Piss me off. I need new glasses so bad. Mine, the left bow, I'm using, okay, those twist ties on bread, the wire twist ties. I peeled the plastic off of one of those and I managed to stick it through the hinge and take a needle nose plier and twist it around to hold this left bow on because the screw fell out. And I went into the eye doctor and said, "Hey, can you put a new screw in there?" And he messed with it, trying to put a new screw. And he hands them back and he says, "You need to make an appointment so you can get new glasses." And I said, "Well, can't you get those put back together?" He says, "You came in here to get screwed, and guess what? You are." Because I can't fix it. He's a good eye doctor.
He's a good eye doctor.
Yeah, I get a kick. At least he's an honest fella.
Yeah. He's an honest crook. Hey.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. How many pickpockets come up and say, "Oh, hey, by the way, I just picked your pocket. Have a nice day. Bye."
Oh.
All that monkey meat adding that weight. Yeah. I tell you what. Oh, I tell you what. After Desert Storm, they had all of these rations they wanted to get rid of, right? And I had one of our tribal employees come to me and go, Sty, you gotta help us. I said, "Help you what?" They said, "We can get 2 semi trucks packed full of food rations, supplies from Desert Storm." And I said, "Well, that's kind of cool. What kind of rations?" "Well, we don't know." They said all they said is it's food. And if we get that, we can let the tribal members all come and give them all this free food. I said, "Well, go ahead and set it up as long as it doesn't cost the tribe anything. I don't care," because I was in charge of their finance at the time. Well, those two semi trucks showed up, and we had about 16 guys there to unload. They unloaded those two semis in this big rec center we had. And then they put the word out to the tribe, come and get their free food. You can get all the free food you want. Well, they dropped some off at our house. I wish they hadn't. They were all number 10 cans of beef stew.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the very first can we opened and I dumped into a pot, I'm going, whoa, throw that out. It's got dog shit in it. Right, running water?
Uh-huh.
The meat chunks were ground whatever meat, and it obviously went through kind of like a sausage stuffer, and they would cut chunks off.
Mm.
And they looked like inch and a half long dog turds.
Yeah, it looked like they pinched them off by hand every 3 to 4 inches.
It was, and I mean, that beef stew made Dinty Moore taste like exquisite cuisine.
Mm.
I mean, it was the worst freaking. I had like shit running water. What do we have? About 20 cans of that shit, and we forced down maybe 2, and then the rest of it was anybody want this shit? I was lucky. I found some bear hunters that wanted it for bait.
Yep.
The
Well, and then we had that one.
and I thought, my God, we're all screaming and hollering. You don't do enough for our military, and you're feeding them that shit. It really did piss me off. I was pissed off to realize these guys are coming in out of the field and they're getting in there and they go in the mess tent and they give them dog shit stew. No. That ain't good. That ain't nice.
Well, typically in the mess tent, you don't get dog shit stew. That's what you get in the field. But at the end of the day, that is they always tell us in the military, your food is not to enjoy; it's to sustain life. So
That's it.
You weren't there to eat it and take your time and really enjoy it. It was designed to sustain life, and that's it.
Well, and that's these guys, the survivalists in our world, got a basement with 5 years of MREs in their damn basement. They don't realize MREs were not designed to live on long term. You're not supposed to spend 5 years eating those every freaking meal. Your body is going to start doing some weird shit. I guarantee you. I've eaten them for up to 2 weeks, and it took me another 2 weeks before. How should I put it? I became regular again.
Well, they don't need a bunch of Marines or soldiers out there needing the shit every 10 minutes.
Well, no, but eventually, when they're buckled over in half with cramps because they haven't shit for a week, yeah. Well, at least their heads are down. I mean, it's God Almighty, But I did find with MREs, certain ones gave me the shits. Certain ones blocked me right the hell up. So once you learn which ones do what to your system, you just got to make sure to get those
alternate
properly.
them.
Yeah, you're rotating them, and then you become what I called military regular, which is pasty, nasty. It ain't right shit. Yeah.
So we had MREs when I was in the Marine Corps. Now we're talking between 86 and 1990, 1991. So we had MREs. Now it wasn't so much about the crackers and the cheese and the peanut butter. That was just stuff they had in there to go along with the main course. So we had like things like chicken a la king, the absolute worst of everything that's out there.
I heard that too, and I've never tried it. I want to try it just so I know the experience.
But then we had other things that they would make up nicknames for. So we had ham and chicken loaf, which would be this pressed thing of meat of ham and chicken. It would have that jelly that your granddaughters love that would be on it. And we call that ham and chicken choke because it wasn't ham and chicken loaf. Nobody wanted that shit either. That was one of those ones. we would have there was, again, another one that was 4 hot dogs in this little press thing. And of course, it would have that jelly in it too, right? And we used to call those 4 hot dogs the 4 fingers of death. So we had things in there that we had special names for. I'm trying to think of the other one. The 4 fingers of death, ham and chicken choke. And there were other. We had a beef patty in there that you were supposed to take the little beef patty and add water to it and let it sit, and then it becomes
rehydrate. Yep.
Cook it. And nobody ever did that. You just ate that shit dry. It was salty as hell. You just same with the potato patty. We had a little potato patty that was the same way. You're supposed to soak it in water, let it sit there. We just wound up eating all that crap dry. The ham and, I'm trying to think of all the. We did have a beef stew. The beef stew was good. They didn't call it anything gross. We had some things in there that they come up with other names for that stuff because it was foul. It was foul. And then of course, at some point in time, they realized, this was later on in my time, they would give us Kool-Aid, little packet of Kool-Aid that you could put in there. They would give us hot sauce, a little itty bitty,
little Tabascos,
And it's funny because
I remember when he got those. Yeah, when we got that surplus stuff, the 2 things I remember most was the Kool-Aid, which was like a big pouch.
Yeah.
And it's meant to make like a big cooler of Kool-Aid. That first time my mom took and made something, she made it into like the gallon jug, just like dumped the whole thing in there, filled up with water,
like syrup,
Kool-Aid,
like syrup, and it's like you should read that. You should read that package. You're supposed to make like this big 4-gallon cooler full with 1 packet, not 1 gallon. Oh yeah, it was bad. But here's one for you.
Yeah, and then we had that 10-pound bag of dehydrated beef and barley soup that was sat up on top of the cupboard for years.
The one thing I did like,
that.
The one thing I did like were the 4 cases of powdered eggs we got. That I did like. I did because you could do things with those powdered eggs to hide the fact. You could make like bread pudding and use the powdered eggs and things to bake with them. Certain things they work great. But I'll tell you what. Here's one for you. My cousin and I, we were just little guys at the time, staying at Grandma and Grandpa's house. They had just moved off their farm into town, and we were staying out there for about 2 weeks with them, helping them get set up in their new house. And we went exploring. Well, there was an old granite quarry, big, huge slabs of granite all stacked up. Well, as a little kid, you could crawl underneath them big. It's stupid, but we'd crawl inside like caves in these granite piles. And well, we found this big pile of crates, wooden crates, and some of them were broken. And we're looking at them, and my cousin's going, well, running water fell off the road. But my cousin's looking at those, and he goes, I know what these are. And I go, what are they? He goes, God, those are 2 different eras. He goes, we got K rations and C rations here. And I go, really? So we start busting crates open and looking around. We're finding cans of all this different weird food. Well, I had my Swiss Army knife with the can opener on it. Open a can. For the last week at Grandma and Grandpa's house, Grandma could not figure out what made us 2 boys so ill, why we were sick. We could have killed ourselves tasting some of that shit. God knows how much botulism we took in. Well, that looks like it should be good. Doesn't smell good. Well, try it. Oh, God, was that stupid. Now I watch these YouTube videos of these guys that'll take old K's and C's and they'll open them up and show you the conditions of the food in them. And, nasty, bad. Hey, Lucianne, strawberry
Usually
shortcakes
most
in
of
the
that stuff
house.
is good as long as air or the seals aren't broken, or they're not put through extreme like heat or cold.
Right.
But
And
that's the
these
problem is most of them get some extreme heat or some extreme cold that really fucks it up.
and
And
these were outdoors, stacked in a. Somebody threw them all away there,
mm,
and so who knows what kind of, they could have been there for 3 years, and 90% of the cans were all rusty, really rusty, and we weren't smart enough as kids to go, oh yeah, this one, the top pops on it, we didn't know shit,
that was like my surströmming. The top was like,
Ugh.
yeah, that was
Uh-huh.
disgusting.
That
We gotta
was
get you
not
to do that style. That would get you a lot of views.
no, I ain't doing that.
Why not? It'll get you a lot of views.
No, I don't care. No, with my this eating disorder I've got now.
Eating disorder. You have no eating disorder.
Oh bullshit! I'll
It's just
invite you
fish.
to dinner and I'll barf on your plate.
You're an outdoorsman. You should like fish.
Oh, I love fish.
Yeah, well, it's surströmming's a fish. It's a herring. The herring.
Nope, don't like them.
Herring.
No, that's the wrong kind of fish.
Herring.
Herring. Yeah, you got bad herring.
Mm-hmm.
I said I wouldn't eat it.
Oh, there.
Yeah, canoe hound.
The damn Canadians in the chat.
Hey, don't be picking on my Canucks now.
What's up, Dennis?
Yeah, Dennis will be proud of me. I'm getting rid of my Murphy bed in my trailer and I'm putting a hammock in. Yeah.
A hammock. I just can't. I'd rather lay in a bed, a nice, soft, cushy bed. Even a prison bed, I think would be.
Oh no. I can guarantee you. I
want a flat surface.
No,
Okay.
I slept on jailhouse mattress. You know what jailhouse mattress is? I don't know anymore, but what they used to be made out of. I watch these movies and they show guys in a jailhouse. They got a nice thick cushy mattress on their steel bunk.
Well, that's usually they got 2 or 3 mattresses. They used to give you something that thick.
And you know what it is? I seen a guy in the jailhouse. I'm trying to lay on that thing. I said, fuck that shit. I can't lay on that goddamn thing. I'm better off just laying on the steel bunk. But this guy in the cell next door somehow got his door open and he starts bitching. He goes, Jesus Christ, look at this. He holds it out to this cage, so the rest of us can see it. Sunday papers. It was all
really.
And he goes, I've got comics to read. He says, your mattress is packed full of newspapers. And what it was layers of newspapers that were stitched into that outer kind of heavy vinyl kind of cover. And that's what it was newspapers about 3 inches thick, 2.5, 3 inches thick. No wonder it was so damn uncomfortable. I don't read the paper anyway. What the hell? Make me sleep on that.
I would think paper. You had to keep stuffing that son of a bitch because I think the first time you laid on it, you go.
No, it's like you laid the newspaper flat and layers of flat newspapers.
It's still
the full size
concrete then.
Yeah. Oh no, those mats were stiffer than shit.
Yeah. We had mats when I was in, but one mat wasn't enough. If you could get yourself a hold of a second or a third one, that was good. But
one mat. I threw mine on the floor. I was laying on the steel bunk, and jailer come in there and said, "You get that fucking mattress back on your bunk." He says, and I said, "I can't sleep on that mattress." He says, "I'll tell you what I'll let you do. You put the mattress back on that bunk where it belongs, and you sleep on the concrete floor." Some bitch was willing to let me sleep on the concrete floor, but not up on that nice stainless steel bunk, And then, because they weren't going to open my cage into the common area, usually there's 4 cells and a common area for those 4 prisoners, and they leave your cage door open unless they were doing a search or anything, then they make you go in your cage, and then those doors all locked. But usually those doors are open. Not mine. Oh hell no, they left mine closed for the first 24 hours, and he come in there, get the hell off that toilet. And I go, say what? He says, get off that toilet. If you're not using it, don't sit on it. I said, I am using it. It's the most comfortable seat in the house. It was. I mean, it was at least butt shaped. Sitting on that mat on that steel bed wasn't comfortable. So I sat on the toilet and I'm going, yeah, this is good. I can do this. Oh no, you're not allowed to do that shit. You're only allowed to sit on there if you're taking a dump. Yeah. Hey, Mayberry. Good to see you.
That was the worst thing about being in a drunk tank when I went in. Is like, it was glass on one side was glass. It was open to everything. You had two concrete walls, and then you had the other side that was a concrete wall with a door and a window. And then there you had your stainless steel toilet. So if you had to do your business, you were doing it right there in front of God and everyone. It was
that was the showers.
Almost as bad as the Marine Corps, but
that was the showers in our jailhouse. It only had a single concrete wall, and then it had a plexiglass front towards your cell, and that doesn't have a door in it. It's got a doorway, but no door, right. And it's just plexiglass. Then a plexiglass panel. The shower is only 4 by 4 feet, and a panel facing the bars, and then a panel facing the hallway to the where they book you, So all these cops walking back and forth, and you got to stand there and shower right out in the open. You're just there. No such. And it was funnier than hell when they walked me in there and they said, strip out of whatever you're wearing, all of it, and here's your clothes. And they give you that nice stack of orange.
Would you like
light,
orange
very light orange and very light orange. The socks and underwear are a very light version of the bright orange.
Oh, I got to keep my underwear.
Oh, they wouldn't let us keep nothing. They give you everything in ours. And and all the socks and underwear were this lighter shade of that same orange. So they're washing the whites with the orange
one
uniform
machine. Yep.
They're
not. Yeah, they don't do colored. No, they don't do that.
So I figured I'm going to screw with them. I was in there for less than 48 hours actually, but when they told me, "Here's your clothes, you can change up, and then we'll see you in booking, and we'll get you out of here." I left them their orange shirt, their orange pants, their orange socks, and I walked out of there with their orange underwear because they were cleaner than the pair I got booked with. So I left them my underwear. That was funnier than hell. Goddamn deputy there at the jailer. He calls me at home because we knew each other personally, actually. He called me. He says, "You rotten underwear thief." I said, "I never stole no underwear." He goes, "We'll come to your house with a warrant. If we find our county underwear," I said, "I want to see you. You're going to come and frisk me for my underwear? I said, "I'll have the camera running."
Yeah, I only spent 5 days in there, so. But it was 5 days. You know what? Most of my my mistakes I made, I would rather spend 5 days in there than a year of probation doing other and stupid.
Oh yeah.
And community service. Let's get this done and out of the way and move on with our lives, right?
I'll tell you what. When I was a housing director, I was the executive director of a big housing authority, and I had huge modernization programs, and we were doing landscaping. We were building houses. Well, I need qualified workers, so I managed to hire on a team of 93 employees to do all this construction work. But I needed grunts too. Well, I didn't want to pay grunts union wages, so I drove down to county jail and I said, "How many guys you have eligible for Huber?" Under Huber law, they can leave the jail, go to a workplace, work, and then they come straight back to the jail. They transport them to you. You work them all day. They pick them up every day at 4:30. They drop them off at 8, pick them up at 4:30. They get to come to work with their little brown paper sack that's got 2 bologna sandwiches, an apple, and a little container of juice, and that's all they're allowed to eat during the day. You can't. I got in trouble as their supervisor for I went down in a local restaurant and I got a bunch of cheeseburgers and fries for these guys because they were doing such a good job. Well, I had 12 prisoners working on my crew under Huber, and I had the jailer come out and visit me, and he says, I'm here to spot check, make sure that my Huber people are doing what they're supposed to and that you're keeping an eye on them like you're supposed to. I said, go ahead, look, here's where they all are, boom, boom, boom. And they're all doing the job. And he says to me, he says, I think we're going to cut that program back. And I go, no, 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 I need these 12 guys. They're doing a good job. I said, plus, they're being productive instead of just sitting in a stinking cell all day. And he goes, I get it, but we have an issue. And I said, what's that? He says, we've got people turning themselves in, hoping they can get Huber so they can come to work for you. I said, you're kidding. He goes, no, half the damn reservation that's got warrants on them showed up down here and want to get booked and they want Huber. I thought, oh, shit. I probably could have had a crew of 40 if they would have let them all come in. And so here, the DA said, book and release these people, get them the hell out of here. Because they're going to get out of here on Huber anyway, and Sty will have them up there working at the housing. Yeah. Well, I thought that was pretty cool, you know.
Sounds cool.
And in fact, I had 3 of my Huber guys that if they didn't spend at least 90 days every year in the local can, they were really, really behaving themselves. I had 3 of these guys that were perpetually getting arrested and doing anywhere from 90 to 100 days. And I'd get them on my Huber crew all the time. And I had 3 of them got out of jail. I put them on the regular payroll, kept them on. All 3 of those guys. Now, 2 of them are retired, and they got nice retirements. The other guy, he's a program director for one of the tribe's programs. And it was like night and day. I mean, these guys, they were always nothing but trouble. Get them out of there, give them a decent job, treat them good, and show them that, hey, if you do good enough, I'll hire you. I'll actually hire you. You get out of jail. But you get in trouble once, you're gone, never again. You'll never get hired again. They come out, man, can I get a job, Sty? Can I? Yep, you bet. I'll give you that shot. 3 of them turned out to be super successes. I mean,
that's great.
Yeah.
Sometimes people do get rehabilitated in prison. They don't want to go back to prison, and some of them just in there for dumb luck. I mean,
yeah,
dumb luck. I've been, so.
And these are all guys that they're not felons, That it's just a high enough misdemeanor. They got to do 90 days or 180 days or whatever. So it's not like they're criminals in that sense. They get in trouble all the time. They just go to the wrong places. They drink too much or whatever, and all they need is a good reason to change their habits. And all of a sudden they realize I'm not going to jail so often anymore, and I actually get a paycheck.
Well, that was where I was at. No one was there for more than a year.
Yeah, right. We're not allowed.
Everyone that I was there was less than a year. Matter of fact, when I got there, this Native American guy, they just called him Chief. Everybody called him Chief. For some reason, everybody was intimidated by the guy. The guy was an angry dude. He was an angry dude, but they called him Chief. And I was like, you know what? I'm only here for 5 days. I'm not going to get into any kind of mischief or anything with Chief. You know, I just let him be his angry self. And you know, when we were in there watching TV, the Tigers were in the playoffs, and we were watching the Tigers game. But when something came on that Chief wanted to watch, he was changing the channel. And it was like, you know what? I'm not going to fight with Chief. I'm not going to give him any shit about this because bottom line is I'll be out of here in just a few days. He's been, and even then, I think he was out of there probably like just a few days after I was. So he was at the very end of his own thing, but he was still a raging asshole.
Yeah. You get them. And
he was in there for a battery. But it was small enough battery. I think it was a wife or a girlfriend.
Sure.
The small enough battery where he was in there for just a year, but it wasn't his first time. So,
see, here in Wisconsin, they can't sentence you to county jail for more than 11 months. If it goes beyond 11 months, they have to send you to Waupun, to the state prison.
Okay.
So the judge, a lot of times he'll look at that sentence and say, well, I can give you 2 years in Waupun, or I can give you 11 months in county. And right now, county's kind of empty. We got extra beds. Guess what? You're going to go to county for 11 months. Yeah. And a lot of these guys would rather go to Waupun, to the state prison, for the 2 years, because they're going to get out in 18 months. They get 6 months off just by not getting in big trouble. And Waupun has work crews. They send them up, do different projects and shit, and they get out a lot, and they've got their day use areas. It's nice big flat screen TV and blah blah. They got a full library and everything, so they're not bored at Waupun, at the state prison. And in county, you put in your name in and hope they draw your name to be on a work crew. And then what do? You don't leave the building. You get to go out to the garage and wash squad cars and fire engines and shit. That's what you do. So 11 months in county can be a pisser, you know. And so the judges actually, depending on the crime, a lot of times won't give them a 2-year sentence. They'll put them in county jail for 11 months instead, because they know that's going to stick with them more than going to state. And but I tell you what, my youngest boy, he had to sit a little bit of time in county. I think it was 60 or 90 days. I had to inform him right away after the second phone call, quit calling home. They're charging us $9 a minute.
Wow.
For you to call home. And the only way you're allowed to call out of that jail is collect.
Yep.
And then he wanted money for the canteen. Well, that's okay, but not when it's $3 for a can of fucking pop.
Yeah.
I mean, so he calls us and says, yeah, I gave him some money for canteen, but I ran out. Could you help me out? Yeah, we'll help you out so you can have a candy bar or Coke once in a while. How much you need? Well, $100 should get me through the next couple of weeks. I said, no, you're there for 3 months. I ain't giving you $100 every couple of weeks for candy bars and Coke.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't believe it. It's $2 for one of them little tiny bags of chips. And I'm going, I believe it, at $9 a minute to talk to you on the phone. Yep. And he found out the hard way that they'll make that stuff available to you if you can swing the bill. Yeah.
That's right. Give me a second, I'll be right back.
You betcha. Yeah. Yoren's back with his breakfast. The way I eat now is I eat like a damn bird now. Today all I've had to eat today is I had one small piece of pizza, I ate that early this afternoon. And then this evening before the stream, I met up with my youngest boy at a restaurant, and he had a great big old hamburger with onion rings, all that fancy stuff. And I had a piece of cheesecake. I ate that one. It's not a big piece of cheesecake with strawberries on top. I ate that piece of cheesecake and I was stuffed. I was stuffed. And I wouldn't I wouldn't be able to sit that burger he had. I told him that's 3 meals for me now. Really would have been. I could have made 3 meals out of just a cheeseburger and side order of onion rings. I could have made 3 meals out of it. Jadzia, animal stories. Do I have any this week? Not really. No. That ain't camp food. Yeah, yeah. One thing I found I like, I just don't eat a lot. So, but I do find that every couple of days, I like these yogurts I get that got this crunchy topping stuff that you dump in there and stir in with the yogurt, and it's just like the blueberry and strawberry ones are awesome. Big berries. The blueberries are nice and big and lots of them. And same with the strawberries. Lots of strawberry. Mix that up, dump them crumbly things in there. I can sit and just eat one of those yogurts, and then I'm stuffed. I'm stuffed. My stomach has shrank, is what's happened. Is my stomach just shrank. I was telling Phil earlier that my daily intake of food runs between 600 and 1,000 calories. I think I was telling Phil that. I think I was. But Running Water tells me, he says, Jay says, old man, at 600 to 1,000 calories a day. I said, well, some days I'll eat like a nutty bar or something that jacks it up to about 1,200 calories. But that's all my stomach holds anymore. And unless I eat just pure fat, pure sugar, I just can't get that many calories with the amount of the volume of food I eat. So, and he said, Running Water telling me, well, you should be getting between 1,200 and 1,800 calories a day being inactive, and between 16 and 2,400 calories a day if you're working. I told him, well, I can't hold it. So if I can't eat that much, what the hell am I supposed to do about that shit, right? Well, and Phil, you'll recall, I think it was last week we were talking about Ensure.
Yeah.
Today, I actually went down that aisle at Walmart and I looked at that shit and I'm going, I know what it tastes like. Not for that price. That's no.
Well,
I ain't eating that shit.
With a weight thing going like this, enjoy the time that you have that you're at this area, because wintertime comes and you're there. You may not think you're going to, and you're going
I
to tell
know
me
I won't. I know I won't. I guarantee you. You want to make some bets on it?
I'm not
I
going to make any
guarantee
bets
you,
on
I'm
that.
not going to gain that weight back.
I would not bet on it, but I would tell you when I lost my weight the last time and I was doing what I was doing, that was a lifestyle change for me, and I was not going to go back to doing what I was doing before.
Yeah, I know. I totally understand that. I totally understand that. But the without going into detail, there's actual physical reasons I won't be gaining that weight back. Yeah. So it's kind of like cheating, because if I didn't have this issue I got to deal with,
gotcha,
then I would agree with you 100%. I'd say, yeah, I'll be at 225, 250 next spring, and I'll burn it off in the next 5.5 months. Because, and Running Water can recall, yeah, when we were out, he was mentioning it off screen earlier that I when we were out in Montana in the 1980s, I was 185 pounds, and I was probably the most fit I ever was in my life because that 185 pounds was bone and muscle. Now it's just flappy skin and bones. I don't have the muscle mass that I had back then. I still have core strength, but I don't have the muscle mass. The and when we left Montana, got to Wisconsin, I took a job flying a desk for the next 27 years. And guess what? Yeah. Bingo. Yeah. The
Well, that's me between work. I mean, I have to get up and do stuff at work, but most of my time at work is not getting up and doing stuff, and then coming home. I mean, I got stuff to do around here that I get done, but then I come down here or watch or hang out with other people. I spend too much time in my life sitting on my ass.
Yeah. Hey TM. Yeah. It's my pleasure to be a host next year. My pleasure. This year went totally different than I thought it would. I thought I'll get this season done and then I'll be able to say this fall, finish up and say, I did it. It's something new. I did it. I'm actually looking forward to next season.
That's awesome.
Things will be different for me in camp. My camper will be better equipped and arranged, and I've got plans of how I'm going to be all set up, and my supervisor guaranteed me there'll be no more burden on me during the regular season next year than there was this year. I'm very cool with that. Very cool with that. I do it. So you guys know there'll only be one video going up this week. Sorry. It'll be going up on Sunday.
We don't want to see that video.
No, you do want to see that one.
Oh, this one, okay.
This video you're going to want to see on Sunday. It's about a camper that I was taking John and Jan to go hiking, right? We're going to go on a special hike, and I had to run through Beaver Lake Campground, my second campground, just to do the reservations quick, add toilet paper to the crappers, and get out of there. So they said, yeah, sure, we don't mind. So we drove through there, and I did that. And here's this camper, and they're just starting to set their camper up. I've never seen one of these before. It's called a Sylvan Sport Go. Okay. Awesome little camper. So I've got a fairly long video going up on Sunday all about that Sylvan Sport Go camper. They were kind enough to say, yeah, we don't mind if you video us putting it up, getting it set up. And so I got the whole video of them setting that very unique camper up. Yeah, I think you'll be kind of surprised at the thing. And Rebecca, I've got 3 people I've been trying to send stickers to, and I use the Clam Lake Junction post office, and those 3 people have not gotten their stickers. Oh. And I've tried 3 times. And hang in there, Rebecca. I'm going to get them to you somehow, one freaking way or another. Hell, maybe I got to make a road trip, eh? To deliver in person.
I can give you some Sty 2.0 stickers, Rebecca, if you want to email me. We got the old Sty 2.0 stickers.
Yeah, you got those. Yeah, TM, it's hard to volunteer for parks. I kind of want to check into it myself. Yeah, it's kind of surprising. with the Forest Service has got all kinds of volunteer programs. They can make a volunteer host out of you. They can make you a volunteer doing light trail maintenance. There's all kinds of things that they like to get volunteers for, but they never can get as many as they want. And the hosting for the Forest Service is pretty tough for them to get enough hosts to cover all the campgrounds. That's always been tough for them. You really want to watch which campgrounds you accept hosting at, though. If they offer you a campground, go take a look at that campground. Don't just take it. So like me, I won't do a campground that has ATV, UTV use. If they're allowed to use off-road vehicles within the campground, I want nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. You know, we've got one campground. It's huge, 50 sites. It's got 50 sites and it's got several different loops. It's got 5 different loops, and each loop's got about 10 campsites in each one of them. And they allow ATV and UTV use there, but you're only allowed to use their campground roads to leave the campground and come back to your campsite. And the reason for that is right outside the campground is a trailhead for what we call the Dead Horse Trail. And I don't even know how long that SOB is. Some of them people said that they'll spend a week taking that ATV trail. Well, so they got a speed limit to get from one end of that campground to the other. It's over a mile. And in that mile, if you went around every loop, you add 1 more mile to it. So it's 2 miles of road. Nobody follows that rule from your campsite to the trailhead and from the trailhead to your campsite. Oh, no, they're driving all over the campground. They're going down trails to the outhouses and to the well and going everywhere they're not supposed to go. And as a host, you're having campers bitch. They're saying, I was carrying water from the well. I'm damn near got ran over by 2 ATVs coming down the trail. So you got to go and you got to correct that all the time. So it's what are you willing to deal with? We have another campground called Namakagan Campground that they know. Don't ever ask me to help there. I won't even go there to do a drive-through personally on my own time. I won't go there. That place is camper hell. Every camper in that place screaming and hollering, and they got 8 or 10 vehicles crammed into this tiny little campsite. Fire pits only 4 feet away from each other's campers, and they got a big bonfire going, and they're drunker than hell, and it's 11 o'clock at night. And if you walk in there and say, hey, you're breaking the Forest Service rules, guess what? You're going to get your ass kicked. And that's the way that whole campground is. It's insane. It's a nut house there. It's crazy. And the host, she sits out in her campsite and watches a big flat screen TV on the side of her RV. Watches TV all night. Yeah, it's a nut house. And they asked me, would you go there and check the bathrooms? I said, no, I'm not going there. You can give me 15 campgrounds and then say, we'll take those 15 away from you if you just, all you do is Namakaga. Then I might get close to considering it. That's how bad it is.
Wow.
It's net. I told them, I said, other than the fact that that campground makes them a ton of money because it's always full, packed.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
well, you get a lot of school activities out there.
Not anymore.
The schools don't go out there anymore?
No, because of how bad it's gotten. The schools are now doing Day Lake and Black Lake, and that they pulled off in Namakagan because of the behavior of campers in that campground. And it was so nice for the school groups because it's got big, huge, grassy park area
Mhm.
right on the lake, and all the campsites look out over that nice big grassy park area with picnic tables, barbecues, all kinds of shit there. I mean, if you drove through there when it's empty, you'd go, man, this is a beautiful campground. Check this place out. Go in there when there's campers, and you're going, this is camper hell. What the heck is going on in here? The, they had our firewood vendor had a wood rack there right in front of the host site. Right in front of the host site. People drive right up there. The host is sitting out there watching TV on their trailer, and people throw 4 or 5 bundles of wood in their truck, and off they go. They don't pay for it. They just take it. She'll send her husband over there to tell him, hey, you got to pay for that wood. And her husband will come back and say, the one guy said if I didn't want a piece of that wood shoved down my throat, I'd get lost.
Really?
Well, okay, just leave it. so, so yeah, and then that campground is used by a lot of local tribal members. Well,
Yeah.
that's something people don't get. They don't understand. And the tribal members aren't helping any. They're not making it easier for the host by just come camp, keep your mouth shut. Don't brag that you don't have to pay. Tribal members can stay in any federal campground as long as it's not electric and water supplied for free. They pay nothing. They don't pay day use fees. They don't pay camp fees, nothing. And it's all, they basically nationwide, because so many of our states under treaty say you got to allow them to use federal lands unencumbered. Well, so the Forest Service said instead of having districts that they can and districts that they can't, we'll just make it nationwide. And that's where a lot of campgrounds like Namakagon now are trying to get electricity and water to every site, because then the tribal members will have to pay to use those sites. But what they do is they get tribal members in there and they say, I don't have to pay, and I'm going to stay for the next 5 weeks. Well, no, you can only stay 14 days. That is a forest regulation that applies to everybody, not to us. Nope, nope. And then they get in arguments with the Forest Service over that issue, and we have the right, we have the right. And actually, in that case, no, they don't. No, they don't. And then they'll go out and they don't have fishing regulations to follow. They can catch as many walleyes as they want. You can only catch, as a non-native, you can only catch 3 in the lake, and they got to be in a specific size range. Tribal members can go out there and catch 30, any size, and bring them in, and they'll come in with baskets full of walleyes and brag to the non-tribal members about how they get to eat walleye every night. You don't, you only get 3, and you got a family of 6. Well, that's not making friends. I mean, so they're pissing each other off constantly. So you gotta, as a host, you gotta deal with that. You gotta be the mediator and try to keep the peace. And so to host, just check the campground out and decide for yourself, am I a good fit for the campground? My 2 campgrounds I'm a very good fit for. I got the few bum campers that I've had this year were nothing compared to all the good ones, all the great campers I had. The that's why I'm determined to go back next year. Determined. They're getting us all new trucks, all of us volunteers for next season. And they did try, because I got over 20 bathrooms that I'm taken care of right now. They come to my site, and Brandon, he's one of our rangers. He's a great guy. He comes to my site. He picked up a couple of items from me, and he says, "Oh, I got something for you." He says, "Here, I'll give you a hand. We'll clean out the box of your truck." And I said, "Why?" I said, "I don't want." I said, "I got to keep my rakes, my shovel, and all that gear in the box of the truck." He goes, "Well, no, we just got to get it out of the truck until we get this thing in there." And then I said, "What thing?" And I walked around to the back of his truck. I go, "Oh, no, you don't. No, 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 not in a F-150 Ford, you're not. 65-gallon water container he wants to put in the box of my little half-ton." I said, "No, I am not carrying 65 gallons of water." What's a gallon of water weigh? 8 pounds?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So there's no way in hell I'm going to carry a half a ton of water around in the ass end of that pickup truck. No. Okay, buddy. Sounds good. Sounds good. I think I'm going to wrap it up early tonight myself. I got a busy day tomorrow. And the one video I got to post has to be finished. I've rendered it, but I got to do the description, all that crap, and get that up there yet tonight. And got a very busy week ahead of me. But hey, everybody out there, I'll be back next Wednesday. And other than this one video this week, that's it. But the following week, I'll have a lot of content. I'll get that stuff edited throughout the week so that it's ready to go up. Just didn't have that opportunity this week. So I'll be trying to keep track of all you folks on my phone from camp. Try to watch Bill when he's eating things he shouldn't.
Stupid.
Yeah. What is the king of stupid doing? Look at that. What the hell?
It's a plate of peppers.
Plate of peppers. How many peppers can you put on a plate when you got Bill's plate of peppers?
Over here too. Yeah. Too much. It's that time of season, so.
Yep. Here they come. Here come the peppers.
Yep.
The March of the Peppers. Hey, Kathy, you have a good night. Yeah, it was great, Matt. Thanks for being here. God bless you, too. All of you, take very good care of yourselves this week, and I will see you on Wednesday. Running water, buddy. Hang on for a minute. We'll talk after the stream. And Phil.
Keep it spicy.
Yes. See the shirt?
Oh, yours, yeah. Keep it spicy.
Yeah. I don't want to lift that up too far because I don't want the women. I don't want the women all excited. Oh, jeez.
Exactly, right? Oh, too far. Sorry.
Oh no. Now I gotta edit my live stream. No. Hey guys, like usual, I'm grabbing this pretty girl over here, gonna dance. Not over there. Over there. I'm gonna grab this pretty girl and dance my ass out of here, and we'll see you all next Wednesday. Love you all. Stay safe. Bye bye.